Shalom, this is Roy Blight, and this is MessiAntics for August the 11th, 2017. Today, I want to get back into a subject that we've been talking a lot about recently, and that is the coming September the 23rd sign in the sky in the constellation Virgo. And it's a time that I think something very well may be on the horizon, because many years now I've been studying the Bible prophecies concerning the last days, and this is one that you just can't ignore, because when you look at what's going to happen on September the 23rd, 2017, something that hasn't happened for 7,000 years. Now, you say, well, how do you know that? Well, there's websites out there. There's one in particular that's an excellent website where if you're into astronomy, and that is Stellarium. And at Stellarium, they've gone back, and the only time that this sign was ever seen before that was about 7,000 years ago. Now, it's interesting that 7,000 years ago, that was the time basically of when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. And it was during that time, during the fall, that the prophecy was given to them, or the sentence actually was given to them, that Eve would be saved through her childbearing, that the pain of her giving births would be as a result of her being duped by the devil. Now, remember that in chapter 12, you should be very familiar with it. If not, go read Revelation 12, 1 through 4, and you're going to find that in the constellation Virgo on September 23rd, 2017, it's going to be perfectly in line with what that scripture says. And it could be a time, in my opinion, this could be the time we could be entering into the time of Jacob's trouble. The last 7 years that was promised to the children of Israel by the prophet Daniel. And this could also be a portent of moving into, if it's the time of Jacob's trouble, it could also be the time signaling the end of the time of the Gentiles. And all of it's coming into being, and I'm praying that the Lord will show me exactly what's going on here, but that's what my inkling is, because I've studied it and I've compared it with a lot of other prophecies. Here's one in particular that I've been looking at. I've known of this prophecy of Rabbi Judah ben Samuel for a long time, and I've preached on it and I've talked about it. And the only way that you can really prove if a prophet is if what he says comes to pass. And when you look at this prophecy from Judah ben Samuel, you find that he prophesied this in 1217. That's 800 years ago. And in this prophecy, he prophesied that the Ottoman Turks would take over in 1517, which is also a very prophetical year. That's also the year, by the way, press was developed by Gutenberg. But also realize that he prophesied that for 8 days, remember, a jubilee is a period of 50 years, that the Ottoman Turks would rule Jerusalem. Now, he was given this. How did he give it? Well, I assume he was given it to it by the Lord himself, because it's come directly and it's come perfectly to pass. Then in 1917, as prophesied by Rabbi Judah ben Samuel, Jerusalem was taken over and it became a no man's land for one jubilee, or one 50-year period. And we know that from 1917 to 1967, the city of Jerusalem was a no man's land under the British mandate. Then in 1966, War, Jerusalem, Old Jerusalem especially, was given over to Israeli control as prophesied by Judah ben Samuel. Well, you take one jubilee from 1967 and it brings you to this year, 2017, when many in Israel believe that this will be the year that the Messiah comes. I don't think it's the year that the Messiah comes. I do believe it's the year that many hard things are going to come. We're entering into a time period, probably, I believe, the last Shemitah, the last 7-year period, is prophesied to the children of Israel. And the children of Israel, many of us have been looking for it all the time. It's called Jacob's trouble, remember, because Jacob, our brother, the Jews, are going to enter into a time that is going to be horrible for them, and it's going to be the beginning of sorrows as we go through the last 7 years. This is what it's looking like. This is the way it seems to be lining up. But I want to get more specific for you today, because how is it with your soul? We can talk about this and speculate all we want until the Lord tells us exactly what's going on. We really don't need to be doing too much looking at the world situation until we look at our own situation. It says in Psalm 127:1, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman works but in vain. You're the city. What about the city that is represented by your life today? Where do you sit with the Lord? If 2017 is the beginning of sorrows and we're moving into times of great judgment and upheaval, and we see things happening all around us, the bellicose threats of leaders around the world of threatening to nuke each other, and all the things that are going on in with the heavenlies and the storms and all the things that are going on with technology all around us threatening mankind itself, and the economy ready to implode upon itself. What about the storms of your life? What about the life that you have right here? What is the Lord telling you? Because you need to take aim at what's going on in your life before you even have to worry about what's going on in the world. Except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain. You know, one thing that's promised us in Scripture is we will all have storms in this life. Yeshua said, the tribulation will come, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. The question is your life hidden in the Lord? You see, God will carry you through every storm and give you strength to make it through it. But you have to have a relationship with the Lord for this to happen. Otherwise, your house is going to sink. And you may even live during a wonderful time of great prosperity, but without the Lord, you're building your house in vain. Storms are going to come. We are going to face storms in this world. But I want you to know today that only through Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah, are you going to be able to say that you built your house upon God's wisdom upon the rock, because Yeshua, Jesus, is the rock upon which we stand. We stand upon him in prosperity, and we stand upon him when calamity is right around the corner. So I'm not afraid of what's coming in 2017. I'm rather interested in it, and I'm pointing it out to all my friends and my family and people in my congregation that I believe we're heading into some really amazing times. That 2017 has been a year I've been looking at for a long time. And the portents of what's happening around us, it is truly exciting. But the question becomes for you, where are you spiritually with the Lord today? And I want to finish today with Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 to 26. And I just want you to apply this personally to your life. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine, this is Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house upon the rock. Now notice, it's not about just listening to his words. It's about listening and applying his words. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat on that house. And it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. You've heard it here first, friend. Where is your house built? Is your house built on the sand? Have you taken your time and you built everything? The structure of your life, is it based upon what the world has for you? Is it only about your job? Is it only about how you can bring in money to your family? Is it only about how soft you can make your life in this world? What is your house built upon? What is the foundation for where you stand? What have you done to make it wise in your life? And the only way that you can answer that is either you have built your life on Jesus the Messiah or you have not. If you have built your life on Jesus the Messiah, you trust in him for the salvation of you, your family. You trust in the Lord for the sanctity of your home and the welfare of your home. You trust the Lord in every facet of your life. You don't have to worry about these last days. You don't have to worry about 2017. The richest people in the world have built themselves caves and dwellings in the rocks out in the Rocky Mountains and the Ozark Mountains, and they've spent trillions, and I mean trillions of dollars to do this, just like it is actually prophesied in the Bible. But they're going to face God. They're not going to be able to shake where the Lord has them. The Lord sees them where they are. You can't buy your way out of this. You can't run and hide from this. What is coming, and I pray that you build your house upon the rock. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And I pray that if you've not built your house upon the rock, that you would look to Jesus, look to Yeshua, and ask him what to do, and ask him to come into your life and help you to build your house from today onward on the rock. He's the only rock there is. God bless you.